When you wish upon a star, there's no reason where you are. When you wish upon a star. Sorry. Pinocchio. Never been a huge fan of Pinocchio, if I'm brutally honest. Obviously, the story was originally written by Carlo Collodi, The Adventures of Pinocchio. Obviously, there's the infamous Disney version where Jiminy Cricket sang, Once I Wish Upon a Star, whatever it was. Pinocchio, Precoccio. I think he should have been called Precoccio. His dear dad, Geppetto. There was a recent remake on Disney Plus with Tom Hanks as Geppetto. There's been another version. I think there's been another animated version some time ago. I think there's been a TV version. I mean, it's been adapted many times. I've always found Pinocchio Precoccio. I've always found him vaguely annoying. I haven't found the story particularly engaging. It doesn't warm my heart. Maybe it's because he's made of wood. He's not cuddly, he's not soft, he's not sort of gooey. And yet at the same time, there's that aspect to it around the fox. Do you remember the fox? The wily fox. It's a bit scary when he's kind of taken off. He's sort of groomed, isn't he? And he's sort of taken off into a world of crime and what have you. And there's a whale, isn't there? At some point, they're in a whale. It's like, yeah, there's a whale. Anyway, this is Guillermo del Toro's directorial debut when it comes to animated features. This is his first animated feature. It's stop frame animation, which I think is probably one of my favourite forms of animation, from A Nightmare Before Christmas to the James and the Giant Peach to Paranorman, Coraline. You know, but there's lots of, even the Aardman films. So I like stop frame. There's a certain sort of, I don't know, there's a sort of grainy kind of reality to them. I think the fact that they're real three-dimensional objects in a real space gives some sort of agency to the characters in these things beyond even what they move or do. They occupy space. And for me, I don't know why, for me that's quite important. Even beyond CGI and all that kind of stuff, they occupy space. So me and Annie Dye saw the teaser for this, and I was quite charmed by it. This is also produced by the Jim Henson Company, which again, I think, did the Jim Henson Company, were they involved with the Dark Crystal series? That was a cracking series. So I'm kind of excited about this. Ewan McGregor is in this. I think Ewan McGregor plays Jiminy Cricket. So this is the full trailer that's landed. What are your feelings on Pinocchio? I mean, obviously that great concept of when someone lies, you go, it's kind of culturally significant, Pinocchio. It has a cultural resonance, doesn't it? But I'm not too fond of the story. But let's check this out. Guillermo del Toro, obviously, he's got The Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix at the moment. He made Shape of Water. He made Pan's Labyrinth. He made Crimson Peak, was it? Did he do Hellboy? He did Kronos. Am I right in all those? I think I am. Okay, let's check this out.
I want to tell you a story. It's a story you may think you know, but you don't.
Over there! What is that?
Papa! It's Biggs!
He's just a puppet!
No, I'm not! I'm a real boy!
Wow, a
People
trailer.
are sometimes afraid of things they don't know.
I don't understand!
Ah, we have found him, our star! Everyone shall love you and call your name Pinocchio. Pinocchio!
I have something I'd like to give you. It is a school book which belonged to a very special boy.
The boy you lost? Papa!
Enough of this nonsense.
Hey, where are you going?
You tell him I love him. And I won't be a burden anymore. Hello?
The wooden boy with the borrowed soul. While you may have eternal life, your loved ones, they do not. You never know how long you have with someone until they're gone.
The boy loves you for who you are.
Guide him to be good.
to me.
Life is such a wonderful gift.
I was reminded of that other song. You got no strings on me. Is that from it too? Okay, I didn't see the fox in there. Maybe that was just an embellishment by Disney. Or am I imagining it from something else? Yeah, that kind of looked good. It looked... Geppetto, I like the rendering of Geppetto. I actually like Pinocchio, and I like the fact that when his nose grows, it's a tree. It becomes a sort of leafy tree. I was reminded of, obviously, the idea of borrowing a soul or taking a soul. You could argue that the whole Pinocchio tale, obviously, Geppetto's lost a boy. He wants to imbue this puppet with the soul of a boy. He would like him to be his actual son and all that kind of thing. So it's tragedy. It's about grief. It's about mourning. It's about loss. But also in there, is it a parable, Pinocchio, about children growing up and moving on? There's that aspect with that weird creature that I don't know what it was, sort of saying, you don't know how long you've got with people and all that kind of stuff. And I was talking in one of our vlogs how, you never remember, you have to cherish all those moments with your children because you will never know when it's the last time, for example, to hold their hand or to read them a bedtime story. There won't be a moment when it is the last time that says, this is the last time. The last time doing things with your children disappears without you knowing. It's really tragic, really sad. I thought that looks kind of intriguing and interesting. If I had young kids or grandchildren, I would definitely take them to see that. I think it might add extra layers to the Pinocchio tale.